Hello everybody, Amy with AJ's Vintage Designs and Fashion Toppings here with another hat painting tutorial. Now you already saw part one where I did the floral bouquet on a baseball cap. That was my last tutorial I just put up. It was this one. Love how that turned out. So you'll have to go into my playlist and be able to see that one. That was the last video I put up. Now this video is all about tie-dye or watercolors. You're gonna be doing this. This is easy. This is an absolute beginner's project. So a little watercolor look, hides all those stains, that aging, that grunge, that dirt that you have built up in your summer visors, especially from golfing. And I got a cute little tie-dye summer spring hat. And I'm also gonna be showing you how to do tie-dye on your beanies. We're not gonna neglect our winter beanie hats either. So this one is just a white hat and I did a little tie-dye on it, but go ahead and keep on watching. It's a step-by-step tutorial. It's for beginners. I hope you enjoy it. And while you're here, click on that subscribe button and that little bell next to it so you're notified each and every time I put up a new video. Okay, well let's get started. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so the first hat I'm gonna work on is the little beanie because it's the easiest one of the two. I want a watercolor look. I just want watercolor looks, just kind of dripping down from this. So I'm gonna start with a bright color at the bottom and I'm gonna go lighter going up to the top so that when I'm adding the water, those lighter colors drip over the darker colors. So, and I kind of want this in pink peaches, maybe I'll add a little blue in, I'm not sure. But first thing I need to do is I need to get it wet. So I'm gonna mist it all with water. What that's gonna do is it's going to open up the fibers of the fabric and allow this paint to act like a dye. So I misted it all with water, got my plastic bags inside, so no worries. Nothing's gonna bleed on each other. And I'm gonna use, I'm gonna go with a color called Plum Crazy. It is a hot pink, and I'm going to just get it on, just wiping it on here, and I'm gonna spray it with water, and it'll turn it into more like a dye. So, that side going, and see, then I'm going to spritz it with water, and you'll see how it just kind of soaks right into those fibers and colors those fibers for me. So the water is the key. It lets that paint thin out and get down into all those fibers, and it's gonna be a watercolor look. Now this is messy, so you will want to have paper towels nearby. If you're working with kids, just, you know, put down a garbage bag on your table with a lot of paper towels. But this is no VOCs in this paint, so I'm not worried about kids using it. It's not a harsh chemical paint. It is no VOCs. It's a chalk-based paint, but like I said, you can use your craft paints if you want to. I'm not investing any more money than I normally would into a project. I'm using leftover paints from my furniture projects. So right now, I'm just getting that color on there, and then I'm gonna go back and spray it. As you can see how it doesn't go in the fibers when you brush it on, but once you get it wet, it's gonna soak into the fibers. So I'm going to spray it again. Where did I just leave off? And if you look close up, you can see how it is gonna soak right into that fiber. It's kind of like a dye. Okay? Want to get all of it. I can heat set this when I'm done so that if I need to wash the hat, I can and I won't have a problem. I can heat set it, throw it in the dryer on high heat, but don't wash this for the first couple of times. Don't wash this with your normal clothes, okay? I personally don't wash my hats. I just paint them. Okay, let me get this first row of pink on. We'll move on to the next color. Okay, now for the second color. I have the Plum Crazy at the bottom. Now I'm gonna go to Flamingo. I'm just going to wipe my brush off real quick. It's okay. Just so I don't double dip this color in there. Okay, so now I'm going to use Flamingo by Dixie Belle. Flamingo is another gorgeous color. Okay, and I've got to mist my fabric. I want to be working with wet fabric. Okay, so now for the Flamingo. Getting that right down into that pink. I know it looks funny right now. We're gonna hit it with water and it's going to be nice and pastel and watercolory. Okay, so now we're up to the Flamingo. Yes, you're right, hitting it with more water, pushing that paint into those fabrics, the fibers. And if you look close up, you can actually see the paint kind of like soak right into the fiber. If you don't get it fully soaked in, then just add a little bit more paint, like right there. You can see some white right there. I do need to add some more paint in there. You can water your paint down a little bit if you want to. For little kids, it's kind of easier for them to work with the thicker paint so they don't drip it everywhere. Okay, so make sure I got that thick enough on there. And spray it. Okay, you see where I'm going with this. Okay, then we're gonna add another color. The last color is going to be Apricot, and it's a very, very light color. Get that on the top. See, Apricot's much lighter. But all these colors kind of go together, and I'm not even switching my brush. Kind of adds to the charm and the character of it. And all the way up to the top. And we're watering this down so much. Oops, there's paint on my table. We're watering this down so much, it's not gonna be crunchy either. This is gonna feel nice and soft. It's gonna feel like a dye. Okay. Getting that apricot on there. Just think of the color combinations you can do. Your kids can pick their favorite colors. And these, you can buy hats. I mean, go to your local Hobby Lobby, Michael's Craft Store. In the back, they have t-shirts and hats. You can do this with t-shirts as well. Just get that paint on there, make it look tie-dye, and spray it with water, okay? Now, like I said, I only do this with Dixie paints. It's a chalk-based paint, and I know it's water-friendly. So just make sure that you're not using like an oil-based paint. Use something that's water-based. Get the inside of that hat right there. Okay, so far, look at how this is gonna turn out. It's gonna be a little tie-dye. See that look? I'm gonna let this dry. I'm just spraying with extra water because I want those colors to run together. I want it to look like it's tie-dye. Maybe I'm gonna just kind of go around and put some more apricot around here, just to have fun. If I want to add a little blue in, I could. Just whenever you add paint, spray it with water to allow it to kind of blend and bleed together. Okay, see how this is gonna turn out? And see how my flamingo is gonna drip down into my pink. So now I'm gonna let this sit and dry, and we'll come back and look at the finished results. Okay. Last hat. This is gonna be just something simple and basic. No art, no dealing with having to draw or design anything out. I just want this to look like splashes of paint on it. This is a fun hat, it's for summer. I just want some watercolor splashes coming down. So I am just going to play, like I said. I'm going to take a brush, nice thick fluffy brush, and I'm gonna get plenty of water. I have plenty of water here, and I'm gonna put some watercolor droplets everywhere. Just no rhyme or reason, just get my brush nice and saturated. My brush is dripping with water. And I'm gonna dip it into a little bit of blue. I want it to be a watercolor look. And I might even, I'm gonna spray my hat a little bit just to get it a little bit wet to welcome the water. I just want it to look like running watercolors. And I don't know if this is gonna work, but I just wanna get that watercolor in here, just kind of twisting my brush around. Just twisting my brush, making it look like watercolors dripping all over my hat. I keep dipping into my water, so I have different saturations of blue, see that? And all I'm doing is I'm just dipping my brush in water, and you can see very little paint, almost like watercolors. I'm starting in the middle, pounce it out, then dip in straight water, no paint in it. And my residual paint that's on my brush is gonna give me that light pastel, lighter colors coming off of it. Okay, so now I'm gonna get some more water. I can't have both my water and my hat in the picture at the same time. Now I'm gonna go with like an apricot color. So I'm gonna dip my brush, saturate it so it's dripping in. I want the water dripping all over it. See how wet my brush is? And I'm gonna dip into a little bit of the apricot. Dip in a little bit of apricot and water. And I wanna kind of overlap a little bit. And then I'm gonna come down. And I'm going over the blue. I just want this to look like I have paint spilling down the brim of my hat. Okay, I'm not redipping in my paint, but I'm gonna just go in for straight water. The residual paint left on my brush is gonna give me more of a watercolor effect. Just kind of dabbing it. See how I'm getting that watercolor effect? And if I want to, if I really want it more watercolored, I can spray it and get those colors to kind of run together. And I think I want another color in here, but let's go with, I'm gonna go with a white mixed with purple, so I have a lavender. Let me blend it off to the side. Get some water. So I'm using a bright purple, and I'm just gonna dip some water in it. Your kids can do any color they want though, really. Okay, now I'm gonna do a little purple. Let's have some purple kind of start in the middle and kind of dripping down. Kind of like tapping my brush so I get splatters. See those little splatters? Okay, more water. And I'm just soaking that paint into my hat with all that water. The trick is the water, see? And the more water I add, see how that paint just bleeds out? I want it to push that towards the apricot. See, it's gonna turn into watercolors. Now, you might not like my design, which is fine. I'm trying to inspire you with ideas. So this might trigger you to be like, oh, you know what? I could do all that water and I could use my school colors, or I could do my kids' college colors or elementary colors. I'm just now just dabbing paint all over it because I want it to look like it's watercolors, but I don't want it to look in one straight line. I just noticed that the apricot looks like it's a straight line. So I'm gonna go over the apricot and then spray it again. This is what, see how those colors are gonna blend together? See that? It gives it that watercolor effect. That brim is pretty strong, so I'm gonna spray it with some water. See how pretty that's going to be? You can pick your own colors. I mean, this is something seriously that kids could have fun with. Picking their favorite colors, doing a t-shirt in these colors, or a pillowcase to match their bedding. And my brush is getting kind of muddy, so I'm gonna add a little bit of white into some of these colors right here because it's getting a little muddy with that purple in there. Ooh, a little hot pink coming over here. My hat's bouncing around. I'm just stabbing these colors on with this brush and making sure I have plenty of water. I'm using my misting bottle for the water. Having plenty of water to force these colors to kind of move together. See that? I'm doing a little tie-dye hat. Okay, so I'm gonna let this one dry and then I'm gonna flip it over and do the inside. The inside's almost pretty much done for me because of how much water I used. I might just go ahead and just do the inside real quick. But this is just basically to inspire you. You find a hat, you got a bunch of sweat marks in it, it's got stains on it. You want to do a fun craft with the kids, let them play with the colors, and I mean, you can't damage it. You can only make it prettier. So I'm just getting a bunch of color on the inside. This one's gonna take a while to dry because I've used a lot of water on this. Okay, so I'm gonna let this one set off to the side and dry. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. Okay, let me put this on a towel. Okay, and then we have the beanie and my little tie-dye sun visor as well. And just to give you a little tip with this, what I did to heat set these is I put them inside an old pillowcase. Set them inside an old pillowcase by themselves, threw it in the dryer, put it on high heat, and I dried them on high heat. Now these colors are set. If I want to throw this in the washer and wash it down the road, it's going to be okay. Those colors are going to be set into the fibers. So like I said, dry them, so especially because I wanted to wear mine right away, dry them, and it also helps soften them as well, is throw them in the dryer inside of an old pillowcase until they're dry. And look at it, really does look like tie-dye. I'm excited. Kind of fun. I think this is gonna be a fun project. You can do this to t-shirts, you can do it to hats, you can do it to your tennis shoes, you can do it to pretty much anything. Just using your spray bottle with water, really diluting that paint to get that watercolor look, and creating your own tie-dye. I use Dixie Belle paint, which is a chalk-based paint, but using a water-based paint, you can get this look too. Okay, well make sure you click on subscribe and that little bell so you're notified every time I put up a new video. I put a new video up every Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Once again, I'm Amy with AJ's Vintage Designs. Until next time, I hope you have a great day.